What's up with you? For today's video, with a full random raids Pokemon team. Derek, this one is for you. So I'm going to be getting random raids, 6 of them from online, and I'll be using the first 6 Pokemon that I can actually get. If I fail the raid, I go to the next Pokemon. These are the 6 Pokemon here that I got. These are the IVs. I kept everything exactly the same, except I gave them EVs and items. I battled some other people, and I actually had the same sort of teams as them. So they grabbed 6 random raid Pokemon as well, and I had 4 battles. It was so much fun, and maybe we could do this series again. What do you think of it? Let me know in the comment section of the video. First battle here, this one is against Bumbling Bee, and we have a Gardevoir lead. Now, I've got my Persian here. Now, this Persian actually, when I caught it, it had all like a mixed moveset. So it had like Slash and Power Gem. So once again, I never changed any of the moves. I never changed abilities. I never gave them bottle caps, nothing like that. I virtually kept them exactly the same. So I just whacked on a item. So the item I gave my Persian was a scope lens, so I could try and get some more crits with Slash. Power Gem wasn't really the most powerful move, pardon the pun there, so I ended up giving this one max speed and max attack EVs. Now, I did show the IVs and the natures there at the start of this video, so if you did miss that one, you can always go back. So I'm going to go for a Power Gem here. Now, opponent did actually have a Ghost type Pokemon. That's why I actually went for Power Gem there. I thought they may try a little sneaky and swap. So this Gardevoir was obviously a random raid team here as well. This was like a Fling Toxic Orb set, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to be finishing off here with the Power Gem. So that's the end of the Gardevoir, and the Gardevoir actually poisoned me earlier on, and my Persian ended up fainting too. So it turned out to be a double faint there for Persian and Gardevoir. So a pretty cool kind of set there with a Facade too. Next Pokemon is going to be Grafaiai, and we've got a Titan. So this Grafaiai, let's have a look at the moves. We have got Poison Jab, Slash, Taunt, and Flatter. Also, the Teras on each Pokemon were not changed either. So the Teras I kept the same. So this was a Tera electric one. You'll be able to see what they were obviously next to my moves and stuff like that. So I went for the Flatter on this Titan, and I'm going to try and go for a Confusion because, you know, Titan is a pretty bulky Pokemon, and I managed to get a Confusion, which is really cool. Now I'm going to go for the Poison Jab here. The EVs on their Grafaiai was, I gave it max attack and I gave it max health too. So I gave it some extra bulk, and I gave it the item as Black Sludge because I thought that'd be pretty good. Now the opposing Titan is going to go for a Snowscape here. But yeah, let me know what you think. I was thinking how I do my random egg series. I could start a random raid series too. Maybe this could be something I do each week or once every 2 weeks. I don't know. Let me know. I think this is a really fun concept, and I quite like to do it again. It was pretty cool because you never know what you're going to get. And it was quite funny because all the Pokemon I got were virtually normal types. So you could almost say it was like a pseudo Larry team. So we got that Poison going there for the Poison Jab. And that is going to be an also Titan. So Titan was like an echoed voice special set, which is pretty cool with Throat Spray. So that's going to be the end of Titan. Next Pokemon is Espeon. So like, well, any Psychic move is probably going to fake me here. And now we've got a Tera. I was like, okay, I wonder what Tera we've got here. Now, the best move I can possibly go for is probably going to be Poison Jab. And the Espeon was a Tera Poison. So like, wow, that was very, very fortunate because I actually ended up going for the Slash there, and Slash does good damage. Now the Espeon is going to go for Future Sight, so Future Sight will hit my Grafaiai pretty hard. So the item on the Espeon is going to be a Leftovers. That would be pretty fun if it had Black Sludge. And now I'm going to go for the Slash. Espeon somehow lives, and now it's got Sand Attack. So we've got Future Sight and Sand Attack. That's actually not that bad a troll set. You can get your Future Sight up, then spam Sand Attack, and hopefully, you know, the Future Sight will land on their opponent. So I went for a Slash here, and that is going to be the end of the Espeon. It didn't get any misses against the Espeon with the Sand Attack, which is good, you know, because sometimes when someone uses, like, you know, Mud Slap, Sand Attack, one of those sort of moves, it only sometimes takes one. However, Future Sight does hit me at the end, and Grafaiai is going to get dropped there. So that is, I'd say the Espeon was, you know, definitely max special attack. Now, next Pokemon is going to be Mabasif. Wait, hang on a sec. That was 1, That was two Pokemon that, like, two double feints, which is pretty cool. This was a Ice Terror. We had Crunch, Play Rough as my main attacking moves here, and out comes the Cerulege. Now, Cerulege does have the Focus Sash. Oh, this is the Ghost type at the start when I had Purge, and I was like, oh, they might swap the in, and that's why I went for Power Gem to add some content. So this was a weak armor set, and it's going to go for a Will-O-Wisp against my Mavistiff. So unfortunately, my Mavistiff is not going to be hitting as hard, but I'll be able to get around the Cerulege. The EVs I gave this were Max Attack and Max Health. So this was also an Incinerate set, so a Will-O-Wisp Incinerate set. Once again, my opponents in this video are also running a random raid team. So we're all sort of running similar sort of teams here. So that's going to be the end of the Cerulege. Out comes Haxorus. Now this is pretty interesting. I actually outsped with Play Rough, which was very, very curious. Like, I wonder why I outsped. Is going to use Dragon Tail, but it didn't use Dragon Tail. It used Rest. So Haxorus is going to be sleeping. I'm like, all right, I wonder why they used Rest first turn. I'm guessing they hoped that I was going to attack them, but now they've got their health back, so they must be using something like Sleep Talk. So I went for the Play Rough again here. Now, Haxorus is going to be fast asleep. Of course, it used Rest the turn before, and of course, it's going to be using Sleep Talk. I'm like, okay, I wonder what sort of move it's going to be using here. It has Guillotine, and Guillotine landed on the very, very first hit. I couldn't believe it. Like, that's pretty lucky getting, not only rolling the Guillotine with Sleep Talk, but landing it too. The item my Mavistiff had was the Rocky Helmet, which, was quite handy, getting a little bit of extra damage. Next Pokemon was Staraptor. Now, this Staraptor, if you didn't see at the start, was Timid Nature, and it was a Timid Nature set, so dropping attack stat. I had all the nice physical moves here, as you can see, but I had a lot of battles with this Staraptor, and it just didn't take things out at full health like it should. You got one shot at it. Next Pokemon is Ditto. Now, my item on Staraptor was the White Herb. So we've got the opposing Ditto transforming into me and giving me the Intimidate too. Funny enough, I had my White Herb there to heal off the Intimidate. Now the opposing Ditto is going to go for a Brave Bird. Staraptor just hangs on there. And the funny thing is, I went for Brave Bird here as well. So that's going to take the Ditto out, and it's also going to take out the other Staraptor that I've got here. So I think that's 3 double KOs in this very, very first battle. And that was it. That was the end of the battle. A pretty crazy matchup there, and some cool sets, of course, there, and EV spreads on my opponent's side of the field. Let's get on to battle number 2. This one is against Derek, and there are actually 2 Pokemon I never got to show you. So there's 2 new Pokemon that I'm going to be revealing in this battle. First Pokemon is Bronzong. So I was like, well, I'll go for Taunt here. Bronzong may have a status move, and the Bronzong actually turned out to go for the Metal Sound. So that's going to drop my special defense by 2 stages. So I'm like, that's pretty good. Bronzong might have a special move to use against me. So I went for the Screech there, and that did a lot of damage to me. So it's about a 2 KO. So I just went for the Slash, and I got a crit there, which is pretty cool. But Bronzong's got a lot of defense, and, double payback is going to be enough to take out Persian. Funnily enough, the payback was a crit too, so it was just quite funny. I was going for the crit, then the Bronzong got a crit too. So Bronzong has got the leftovers. Now, the next one here is going to be Mavistiff. I thought, well, -2 in defense, Bronzong should go down to this easy, and it did. So bye-bye, Bronzong. I don't know what else it would have done. Maybe as some sort of steel type move. Next Pokemon is going to be Dragonite. Now, this Dragonite was a modest extreme speed set, so it was doing terrible amounts of damage there. I just went for Play Rough, and Play Rough was like my best best thing to go for. Funnily enough, I actually got a Play Rough boost there. Sorry, a Play Rough drop on the attack, and that was enough to take out the Dragonite. I think Dragonite was going for like another move there. Next Pokemon is Goodra. Now, this is actually pretty good because I had quite a nice Play Rough to use against Dragonite, and Goodra, some pretty good damage. So we got a gooey slice from the Slowbro, a gluey Goodra, a gluey Goodra. Actually, when you think about it, if you stuck your hand right underneath Goodra's chin, you would probably be like glue. So I swapped in my Grafaiai here and went for a Poison Jab. 10 out of 10 commentary people, you know, you love it. Next Pokemon is going to be boss number 5, hopefully staying alive. This is going to be Kilowattrel, and Kilowattrel is going to be the Tera Pokemon. So I was like, all right, I wonder if it's going to be electric or it's going to be like a random type. It turned out to be electric. It's like, okay, electric move. I wonder what move this is going to be using. Now, obviously, I'll get outsped, and Thunder is going to miss. Like, yeah, Thunder would have absolutely destroyed me there, especially with the Tera. So then I went for the Flatter, and I was like, oh no, I've now boosted its special attack. I hope it maybe hit itself for confusion. You watch what happens. So miss one Thunder, and it get past the confusion, and it miss another Thunder. So 2 Thunder misses in a row, which is, pretty fortunate there, considering I boosted the special attack. I then got a Poison, which probably didn't really matter too much there, unless I got, fainted this turn. And it's going to be a 2-hit KO with Poison Jab. So we got the Thunder missing 3 times in a row. Now, funnily enough, my opponent's item actually was Wide Lens. So Wide Lens Thunder misses 3 times. So we got the accuracy of Thunder, so like 77. So I don't know what the chances of missing 3 Thunders in a row with 77% accuracy. If someone wants to do the math there, but that's kind of unlucky for sure. In comes the Boom Birdia, and Boom Birdia is going to be able to take these attacks pretty well. It's going to go for a Rock Slide. Now, judging on the damage it did with Rock Slide, that was not Rocky Payload. I'd say that it was Keen Eye, and I believe that it was probably Keen Eye, and it's also going to finish me off with a Sucker Punch. That's going to be the end of the Grafire there. Like, say, I reckon that Kilowattrel would have probably dropped most of my team there, but didn't miss with, Thunder. Next Pokemon is Staraptor. We're going to be dropping that attack there. Out goes the Boom Birdia, and in comes Boss number 2, which is a Raichu. Like, all right, I'm sure it's got some sort of electric type move, but it's probably going to outspeed me. So I went for a couple of quick attacks here, and I got a crit, and then I got staticked. I'm like, of course. I knew that was going to happen. So Raichu has paralyzed me. Now Raichu's going to go for a Nuzzle here as well. So that Raichu was definitely like, they were 100% sure to get me paralyzed. If I did get paralyzed by static, Nuzzle was going to do the job. Then the Raichu was trolling right because it had the Charm. So Charm's going to drop my attack by 2 stages. However, I had the White Herb, which got rid of the Charm drop. So now the Raichu is profusely going to go for Charm over and over again. So I kept going for quick attacks. I thought I might as well just keep going first and getting a little bit of damage here. Raichu, I think, was setting up the Boom Birdia because all it really had was, it seemed to only have like the Nuzzle. So Nuzzle and Charm combination. So my Staraptor was -6 in attack. It failed to take a Raichu out with a double edge, and then I had to follow it up with a quick attack again to take it out. So that's the end of the Raichu there. Now, Boom Birdia is going to be able to take me out easy peasy. It's going to go for a Sucker Punch. I actually did contemplate swapping there, but I thought, well, I don't really want to swap into like a Rock Slide. So a couple of Sucker Punches is going to be enough to take out this Staraptor with -6 in attack plus Timid Nature. Amazing, amazing set. Next Pokemon is Indeedee. So this is the other Pokemon I didn't get to show you. And this is a Psychic Surge set. So I've got Psychic, Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, Trick Room. I've got the Trick Room and Room Service, Max Health and Max Special Attack, and I got dropped there by Brave Bird in one shot. Apparently Boom Birdia was Brave Bird with a sharp beak, and that decimated my Indeedee. However, I still had one more Pokeball left, which meant I had one Pokeball left, and that battle was my win there. But another crazy battle so far with the Random Raid team. Next battle here, this one is against Peepslot, and once again, we have another Random Raid team. Now, I actually haven't showed you my last Pokemon, but I will in this battle. First Pokemon is Appletun. We got the Appletun swapping out there, and we got the Torkoal coming in. So Torkoal is going to have the Drought ability, of course. Now, Torkoal's got some pretty good base defense here. I went for Torque because I thought that it may have something scummy like Leech Seed or, I don't know, annoying status move. But, of course, Torkoal swapped in. And now it's going to go for a Lava Plume. Lava Plume is going to burn me, which sucks. So that means my Poison Jab's going to virtually do nothing, as you can see. Now, Torkoal's actually got a very nice defensive stat, so it's going to do virtually nothing plus the burn. However, I was pretty lucky. I got a poison from Poison Jab, which is pretty cool. So now I can actually probably feint something in here. Prori have the Grafify faint, then bring another Pokemon in there. So I'll have a good swap in at least. So Grafify was pretty much done. I went for my last Poison Jab, and I don't even think that moved the health bar. I think it did like 1 or 2 damage, and Grafify is going to be faint here. Once again, if you miss what all my natures were, my IVs were, they were all at the start of the intro of this video. So make sure you go check them out there before you leave a comment. Next Pokemon is Staraptor. We're going to go into that, and I was like, okay, I'm confident I can take out this Torkoal. I know that I've got Timid Nature, but it only has a little bit of health left there. So bye-bye Torkoal. And if you're enjoying these types of videos so far, maybe this random raid, you want to see this again, let me know in the comment section. Give me some feedback, people. Drop a like on the video. I'd love to see the comments from the, probably from everyone that's watching this video. So we're going to have the Staraptor coming. We both got Staraptor, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I know they've got Quick Attack because we're probably exactly the same moveset, right? And it's funny because we both had White Herb as the item. So I went for a Quick Attack here, then they went for a Quick Attack. So Staraptor is going to fade. I guess that's the only thing, like, if you do have the same Pokemon, you sort of know what's going on. Next Pokemon is going to be Indeedee, and I was like, all right, I need to get this Trick Room service set to work. So I've got this one going here. However, I wanted to set the Psychic Terrain up there and go into Mabastic, because I thought, well, I can get a Rocky Helmet KO here, and they maybe might go for like, a weak move there. And instead of going for like Brave Bird, it went for Close Combat, which almost took Mabastiff out in one shot, which is pretty good. So that Staraptor must have, well, let's be real, it wouldn't have been a Timid Nature. I'd say it would have been, it could have been Adamant too, but I only lived that just due to my health investment. Next up we got is the Appleton. Play Rough does a good amount of damage there, which is very nice. Here comes a Body Press. That's going to take out the Mabastiff there, and I'm going to get some more Rocky Helmet damage on Appleton, which is pretty cool. However, the Appleton is going to be eating a berry, and that's going to be a Ganlon berry, boosting its defense. So that Ganlon berry that Appleton just ate is going to boost up the power of Body Press. So pretty nice strategy there. I'm going to be going for a Psychic here, trying to take out the Appleton. With the Psychic Terrain up, Indeedee was pretty fast. Now, I think this Indeedee was, I think that it was Quirky Nature or one of those other ones there. In comes Toedscruel. Toedscruel is a 3-hit KO on the Earth Power. So I'm going to be setting up the Trick Room here. Now, the Trick Room is going to be activating my item, which is Room Service. So, Indeedee is quite a fast Pokemon. So, I gave this max health and max special attack, and I thought I could make it, a pretty fun set with Trick Room, because this is the only way to get Trick Room on the Indeedee currently, before our Pokemon Home and stuff comes in. But, yeah, this is the only way to get it. So, a lot of people may not actually know that. So, Indeedee is going to have the Indeed advantage here under the Trick Room. Unfortunately, the Psychic Terrain has actually disappeared, but Toedscruel is going to be able to live that one. It's quite a bulky Pokemon. I might have had a chance here if I got a critical hit, but Indeedee's going to fight, but there you go. That was the Trick Room Service Indeedee set. Now, the Toedscruel's got leftovers as his item too. I'm going to swap in Ditto. Ditto was my last Pokemon, and I gave this Choice Scarf. That was just the best item I could actually give it, especially on a team like this, in case, any of my random opponents had some really, really good Pokemon, because you never know, you could roll like a random, if you were doing this team, you could roll some really, really good Pokemon, or you could roll some, really, really bad ones. I would say my team, it wasn't the greatest one in the world. So the EVs on this, I just gave it with max health, and that was it. It had Imposter and the Choice Scarf as the item. So my Ditto I actually conserved here, and I brought in my Purging, because Purging could outspeed that and take it out. Also, I had a special defense dropper from that too. So Persian takes a lot of damage from the Energy Ball. I can go for Slash and take out Toedscruel. There's still 2 other Pokemon after that too. That's also going to be the end of the Trick Room too, so I timed it perfectly, swapping in the Persian there. I guess having Trick Room and Choice Scarf on the same team was a little bit tricky too. I had to try and use them at the correct time. So we've got the Talonflame going for a Tera here. Now the Tera I had on my Persian was Tera Fairy. And I was like, well, I guess I can go for Slash here. Now, my Ditto actually had Tera Fighting. Now, you watch what happened next. So, I got burned here by the Flamethrower, or roasted by Flamethrower, and it was a Tera Ghost Talonflame. So, all right, we'll go into Ditto. Let's see what I can do here. So, Ditto actually turned out to have the Tera Tera fighting, so I couldn't use anything but Brave Bird or Fire Blast. You watch this, Ready? It's quite funny. So I couldn't use normal Tera Blast. I couldn't use the Tera Fire Blast. I was like, sorry, Tera Fighting Blast. I was like, okay, well, I have to go for a Brave Bird here, unless I go for, like, I don't know, a Flamethrower or a Crit or something like that. So I went for the Tera anyway in hopes that, you know, my Talonflame Ditto would actually, you know, live to tell the tale here. I was hoping for, like, a ginormous thumping crit. So I went for the Brave Bird here on the Talonflame. It only does around half health here. I take a little bit of recoil. Here comes a Tera Blast Ghost. Now, Tera Blast Ghost isn't something you see very often. Like, it really isn't. So it's sort of like just little ghostly balls flying around. Now, I was like, all right, I've got to go for a Brave Bird again. I'm locked into Choice Scarf, and Talonflame is going to faint here. And unfortunately, my Ditto is going to faint due to the recoil. The last Pokemon on their team, funnily enough, I think it was a ghost type. It might have been Banette, so I couldn't use Tera Blast fighting at all. It was a complete fail. Last battle today, this one is against Super Bowser. We got 4 battles today. All of them are random raid teams. And the first Pokemon here is going to be Tatsugiri. Now, Tatsugiri in a raid, I know this one, I've caught this one actually before. It actually can have Mirror Coat and counter and stuff like that. So I thought, well, maybe you'll try one of those moves. So I'll go for Swagger, and then maybe I'll go for like Crunch or something like that. Actually, it does test your ability of knowing what the raid movesets and stuff are too. So instead, it's going to go for a Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse is actually a 3-hit KO, maybe 2 if it was like min or max. Now, the opposing Tatsugiri is going to have a Focus Sash as the item, and it's going to be actually Confusion. So they're hoping maybe it can hit itself for Confusion for a little bit of salt, and it ended up using Water Pulse instead. Now, Water Pulse did actually not faint me here, and I went for a Disrespect Takedown, because let's face it, you don't really ever get to see Takedown being used. It's a very, very bad move. I guess it's just outclassed by everything, like any moves like it and stuff. Out comes Donphan. I just went for Crunch, and funnily enough, I got a defense drop from Crunch, which is pretty cool. Donphan's going to go for the old Tem Tam Slam, and that is the end of my Mabosstiff. I actually got some more Rocky Helmet damage there. I always got Rocky Helmet damage with my Mabosstiff. It was quite good. So Donphan's got the item leftovers here. So I was like, all right, well, Donphan, let's go into Indeedee. I might be able to get rid of this thing. Now, I could go for a Trick Room. I was like, well, I don't really want to get hit here by a powerful physical move. So I'm just going to finish off with the Psychic. So that is the end of the Donphan. Bye-bye, Donphan. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be Banette. So I'm like, well, it can't use any Dark-type moves here, Ghost-type moves, and they went for Sucker Punch, so I don't know what they'll think of there. Maybe I'd swap, but the Psychic Terrain was still on the field, or it could have been a misclick too. I went for Trick Room regardless, so no Sucker Punch was going to work there, anyway. So now the Banette's going to swap out. I've got my room service going. In comes Slowking. Now, this Slowking got outspeed in the Trick Room, which is pretty funny, and Shadow Ball was actually a 2-hit KO. The first one was a minimum roll, and the second one was a maximum roll there. So, there you go, the Indeedee with room service. Very, very incredibly, speedy Pokemon in Trick Room. Out comes Glimmora. I was a little bit surprised it wasn't lead. Now, the Glimmora Tera is going to be Tera Dark. So I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad Tera to run on Glimmora. Obviously, it was randomly on there. I went for Psychic, it failed. So like, wow, there's nothing I could have done about that. That was very, very good. So here comes a Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is a 2-hit KO. The Psychic Terrain's now gone for the field. All I really had to do there was go for Hyper Voice. It wasn't a bad amount of damage there. So the Mortal Spin is going to poison my Indeedee. It's not doing a lot of damage. However, I believe the Trick Room actually wore off this turn. Yeah, wore off this turn. Now Glimmora is going to be able to outspeed me and take me out with the Sludge Bomb. So that's the end of the Indeedee, but Indeedee did a pretty good job there. Next Pokemon is Staraptor. I was like, well, I can go for virtually any move here. I can go for Close Combat. Let's go for that. So I outspeed the Glimmora. I did run max speed EVs on this, and that's the end of the Glimmora because it was a Dark type. Now, the IVs at the start, we had a couple of bests in there, but there was no, super amazing Pokemon. I think the Staraptor had the best IVs on my team. Next Pokemon is a Bomber, so I went for the Brave Bird here. And due to a Bomber Snow having that bulk of a Nice type with the Snow buff, It actually went for the Ice Punch and took out Staraptor. Like, that Snow was like a crazy, crazy buff there to Ice type. So normally I would have taken... Plus the Timination definitely let me down there too, let's be real. So Abomasnow is going to be swapping out here, and Bennett's going to come in. That's not a bad swapping because I went for a normal type move. And I could have gone for Power Gem, but it doesn't really matter. It wouldn't have done too much. So Bennett's going to go for a Sucker Punch. That actually does really good damage because it's got, Sucker Punch is pretty good power, and it's also got Life Orb as well. So the best my Persian can really do here is go for a Sucker Punch. I decided to go for a Tera Persian, and I've got Tera Fairy on this. Now, Tera Fairy actually isn't all that bad on Persian, mainly because you can Tera Persian Fairy, and the opponent goes for a fighting type move, and you can live that better because you're a fairy type. But overall, Persian, even though I resisted that Persian, it's not very bulky, so I wasn't able to get as much damage off as I could. So I thought they may try and slide into Sucker Punch, so I went for the Screech instead. However, the Bennett's going to go for a Shadow Claw, and that's going to take out the Persian. So he wouldn't have been able to use that Shadow Claw if I didn't Tera. But that's the way it goes. That's the end of that Persian. Next Pokemon here, the Snow is going to stop too, is going to be Grafire. I swerved the Ditto up in the back too in case anything dicey happens. Here comes the Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch once again is doing a lot. I'm just going to go for Poison Jab on the Bennett there. So bye-bye Bennett. Now, apparently this Abomasnow, the Snow Warning Abomasnow, the item that it was carrying on it was actually Quick Claw, but it never activated there, and that is the end of the battle. Hope you enjoyed the random raid team. It was so much fun. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.